everyone, this is a 32 back again with another review, and this is Delicious from Emmanuel Jose. This is his fourth deck, I believe it is. He had the original one was the Curator, which went through House of Playing Cards, and I guess it had an art theme. Then he had Clipped Wings, which had a bird theme. Sawdust Soy, which had a circus theme. And now Delicious. I'll let you guess what the theme of that one is. You don't know it's food, obviously. You got plate and utensils on the front. It says Delicious. On one side, it says Delicious, of course. Same on the other. Top, EmmanuelJose.com. The bottom, it says made by the USPC. The back, nothing but his logo, and it says Emmanuel Jose. It looks like it's an E, and then this, I guess, is a J. It's spade pip. It's nice. As you can see from the top case, it's basically identical to his other decks, aside from the front logo is different, but the color scheme and everything is the same as his previous decks. He does have another deck coming up. I'll tell you more about that in a bit. There is no seal, nothing on the flaps. If you're wondering about my hand, I sprained my wrist or something. So, you might see this in the next couple of videos. So inside you do get, as with his other decks, a poem that says Delicious. The family recipes are out of the groceries bought from the store. It's time for food, fun, and feasting once our guests knock at the door. The seats fill up around the table. The dogs wait for scraps on the floor. We happily chow down with gusto. There is laughter and food galore. The cares and worries are gone. The meal renews all we adore. Delicious food has been had by all, but there's always room for more. Emmanuel Jose. So not only does he draw decks, but he's also coming up with poems for each deck. The back design is a simple, pretty simple, casino type back, I guess, kind of borderless, made up of plates and knives and forks. I think that's pretty fitting. You do get a double backer as well, though I'm not sure how much use you'll get out of it with a deck like this. The jokers have pretty thin borders, a little bit off-centered, of course. And it has two figures. You see some like aroma in the air coming off that food. And they got some massive utensils, and they're just little clowns and having some fun, I guess. Pretty fitting. Then let's get on with the aces. One thing you'll notice about Emmanuel Jose decks is that he finds a way to incorporate each and every pip into the artwork that he does. So it's pretty interesting, and I will show you every card. I'll try to be brief. Let's look at the aces first. The ace of spades. You can see the spade pip made up of this handkerchief, or napkin, I should say. Ace of hearts made up of a steak, heart-shaped steak. This one, ace of clubs, is ice creams, made up of 3 scoops of ice cream. There's chocolate syrup, sprinkles, whipped cream, and a cherry on top. And here we got a diamond-shaped wrapper on a chocolate bar that I probably took a bite out of. No, it wasn't me actually, but you get the idea. The court cards are very interesting. They all fit together, each suit, and make an image. I'll try to lift that up here a bit. As you can see, they fit together, and here we got just some people working in a restaurant. And this side is different from this side, which is pretty interesting. But it's kind of like the chain, the cycle in a restaurant. Passing dirty dishes back and forth, bringing out food, making food. I think that's pretty interesting. Let's look at the hearts. Here we got 3 different types of beverage vendors. A guy making a coffee at a coffee shop, a girl selling lemonade, and a guy at a bartender at a bar. And again, they all kind of interconnect somehow, some way. And then here again, we got the clubs, another restaurant scene with waiters and cooks and stuff like that. And finally, last but certainly not least, is another similar restaurant scene. Apparently I bungled that up somehow. There we go. Nope. My apologies. causes. Very fun. Again, waiters and cooks and guests at the table and stuff like that. Very interesting, very nicely done. And this works very well when you see the uncut sheet, of course. And then we get on to number cards. Like I said, he incorporates pips into every image. So here we got the 6 of hearts. You can see he's made the hearts out of chickens, live ones, and dead ones. Slices of pie or something with spade pips and these things. I can't think of the name. Kid, lust and excited about broccoli, of course. Girl with a candy. Cat, and there's a can of caviar, and the cat's hoping to drop some. It's also spade shaped apparently somehow. And the fish is spade shaped. Here we got spade shaped mushrooms on a pizza. A diamond shaped top on a hot dog vendor, and there's even a little hot dog down there. It's funny. A lobster with heart shaped claws. Ketchup, heart shaped coming out of the bottle, and down here on the fries. Yummy. Here you see the diamond shaped top of a pie with a red filling. Probably, I don't know, cherry or something. Club shaped popcorn. Never seen those before. Here we get diamond shaped, looks like muffins or something. Chocolate chips that is spade shaped on a cookie that's had a bite taken out of it. Here we get toast with jam and they look diamond shaped. And this one's actually got a cut going through it too as well. It's been sliced in half. Here we got heart shaped sausages. From what I can tell, it looks like a sausage. It's been wrapped up and you got that skewer going through it, and you just see like the top portion. You know what? When you see those rings, sausage rings, and they're tied up, and I guess that's like the top portion. Not so one of them has an arrow going through it, but whatever. Here you get escargot snail. You can see it down here, and the other places it's a fork picking at the escargot. Pretty interesting. Popsicles or fuzzicles. Glass of wine, and there's been some spillage. The person dropped it. Pretty interesting. Here we get a coffee pot and coffee cups with the aroma steam coming off the coffee, and it's all clubs or spade shaped, I should say. Here we get shrimp and a cocktail glass, and they're all making hearts. Bell peppers, diamond shaped, I guess. A cheese with a club shaped holes in the center. Coffees, and there's a heart shaped thing in the center from stirring, I guess. Heart shaped fortune cookies, and this one says something about in bed. And they all got different letters, and maybe they all kind of fit together. That'd be pretty interesting, wouldn't surprise me. Diamond shaped pot holders. Club shaped cookie tray. Dog eating meatballs that are club shaped. Spade shaped mixer or paddle on a mixer, and you can see there's been splatter all over the place. Diamond shaped icing on cupcakes and the icing bag. Here, this is interesting. It's donuts. Looks like there's little pieces of donuts in there as well, making clubs. And coffee cups also making a club. Very interesting. Heart shaped pretzels. Here we get some dogs checking out a lesson on pork bellies and diamond shaped pork belly. It's kind of funny. Here we got, looks like asparagus or something. It's been chopped in half. Hamburger, and inside club shaped onions, and you see all the other ingredients. And here we get interesting ton of clubs. Half of it is wine barrels with some monks. The other half is tops of pop bottles. Again, very creative, very interesting. And last but not least, grapes on a vine making spade pips, and the leaves as well in the same shape. Very interesting. I like it. Very creative. He does have another deck coming out sometime later this year, which is called The Name of the Game, and it's going to be sports themed. Should be excellent. course, these are printed by USPC, so it's got a good bicycle stock, and they're Christian Fist. So of course they handle good, and they look good. Nice simple back, but it kind of looks because you got very nicely illustrated faces, but at the same time, you know, I could pull out a card like that, and you can see it's a jack of diamonds. You look at this, you can see it's a 4 of diamonds. That's a 6 of spades. It's still, the cards are identifiable. They're completely custom and different. There's a lot of decks I've seen that are similar, that are, what you call, they are, well, whatever they are. They're similar decks with different images on their faces, but a lot of them, they don't have the pips incorporated into the artwork. Emmanuel Jose always does that somehow, some way, which I think is a nice added touch. My freaking glove is not allowing me to spread these very nicely. They handle good, they look good. As far as the theme and artwork is concerned, I like it. I will give it a 4.5 out of 5. Very nicely done. As far as usability is concerned, pretty usable, despite being completely, you know, illustrated and custom. I'll say 3.75 out of 5. And then as far as handling is concerned, it seems to handle pretty good. I'll say 4 out of 5. Again, I haven't been able to play with these much because of my hand being kind of screwed up, but they can do anyway. Anyways, I do recommend it. Overall, I'll give it a 4.25 out of 5. Really cool decks. I recommend all these decks, and they're actually sell for a pretty good amount of money in the aftermarket, not surprisingly. Like I said, he's got another one coming up in the near future. One minor thing I wanted to talk about is that it's been brought to my attention by one of my Facebook friends that he had received a tuck case that had damage on it, and for one reason or another, Emmanuel Jose has been reluctant and unwilling to replace it, unless the only way he said he would replace it is if the cards were actually damaged. I think he pretty much gave up on it, said the hell with it. But to me, that's kind of ridiculous. You're trying to, you know, get a small amount of people to back projects on Kickstarter, and now you are getting a reputation that is not that good. That could affect the funding. I mean, this deck almost did not fund. It barely funded, because he had a pretty high goal and everything, so he could be causing problems for future decks getting funded. And all because he was just unwilling to spend a few bucks to replace a deck. And I mean, I can understand if the cards are damaged, it makes more sense. But at the same time, a lot of people like to just have these for display purposes, for collection purposes, and if there's a damaged corner or something, it looks like crap. I think it's a minimal expense that could have made him look, you know, come out in a really good light, and instead he put himself in a bad light. So I just wanted to point that out. Anyway, have not seen these available yet, but for other decks, go to collectiblebundlecards.com, use the code VISA30 to get 10% off your order. Comment, like, rate, subscribe. Check out all my other videos. I'll see you next time.